our pineal gland, our intuition, is where we access the highest level of consciousness, the highest level of love, the highest path to abundance and freedom. It would always show me, I will come back to what's the root cause of this pain. And then I would have some sort of an emotional release or an understanding of why the pain is there. You create your whole perception of reality, like everything that you fear is going to come, and the monsters under the bed is what you're going to meet. And you will realize that it's all within you and it's all just gifts. Darkness is the medicine. And so
So yeah, you just came out of 6 days of silence.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not that long ago. It's maybe 1 or 2 weeks ago. And it's also, yeah, 6 days, 1 week of being in the dark is basically, I mean, you're in pitch darkness. There is no, the only thing that you hear and see and feel is your own perception of reality, like everything that is going on in your mind. And the whole game you are playing out in this life. And when I mean pitch dark, I mean you can't even find your toothbrush, so it needs to hang on the wall. And if you're going to take toothpaste on it, you have no chance of getting it on the toothbrush. You have to like take it in your mouth and then try to brush your teeth. So it's really, really pitch dark. And all you have is food and a bed and a yoga mat to meditate on, and a toilet and a shower. And so yeah, it was a very interesting journey in the dark to basically see everything that we don't want to see, because everything that is hidden in the dark is also what we fear the most very often. But when we can sit with that and become free there's not really so much limitations anymore. So it's a very, very powerful journey. And yeah, and also something I wouldn't recommend unless you feel called to it. Because I think sometimes, yeah, it's that journey of getting to know darkness that I'm very grateful that I've had before going in there. So that whenever there was a demon or a snake that I saw in this dark room, because you create your whole perception of reality, like everything that you fear is going to come, and the monsters under the bed is what you're going to meet. And you will realize that it's all within you and it's all just gifts. Darkness is the medicine. And so yeah, for me, I'm very grateful that I've had many years of facing darkness and everything that I'm scared of, and demons and entities and all of that, and become really safe with that also before going in. So that's why I haven't had the calling to go before, because I think now I was ready, and before I probably wasn't. So yeah, I have a lot of respect for darkness as well. Such a deep medicine.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How long ago did you come out?
Sorry.
How long ago did you come out of the?
It's about I think it's 2 weeks ago. Yeah, something like that.
Do you still feel like there's stuff being downloaded, or do you feel like you've kind of stabilized and where you're at right now?
I mean, in the darkness, what starts to happen is that I mean, you don't use any plant medicine or anything, but you reach this state without it. So since everything is so silent and you're only with you and yourself, and I was sitting and meditating all the time and then just sleeping and meditating. Everything in the room becomes something else. So it just starts to flicker. So all the light starts to flicker. You can start to see different colors. And you start to reach very fast, you start to reach a high level of consciousness. So you start to really access that pineal gland, that intuition that you have, and get access to beyond and beyond. And so actually also food, I barely ate anything because you there's so much life force energy moving through you. And so it did open up a whole lot. And I think something that was very deep in that journey was that it opened my all of my senses again. Like it truly opened up my pineal gland, my intuition, all the spirits that I met in this journey. It was such a deep contact with myself and with spirit, and which is myself as well. And in that journey, it's also like you sit with the pain in your body. So all the physical pain or health issues or imbalances that I've had in my body after some things happening this year and an injury I had, and I was sitting with those the physical pain in my body. And you can start to feel every cell of your body and really start talking to that pain. And as I was sitting with that pain and really giving it space and allow it to be here, it would always show me, I will come back to what's the root cause of this pain. And then I would have some sort of an emotional release or an understanding of why the pain is there. And sometimes it would also cleanse itself. Like I would literally go to the toilet so often and just poop out lots of things, even though I didn't eat anything. But there was so much that was holding on that the body was cleansing out. And then, so when I came out of the dark room, which is also a very special journey when you go out of the room for the first time in a week and you take off the blindfold, it's like you're being reborn again. But in the days following, and back to your question, I did have a lot of downloads. I mean, the journey just continued for probably 5, 6 days after the dark room. And that means that every time I would get some sort of a limitation up, and limitations is also patterns in life. It's when I wake up and I lack purpose, or I go through the day and I'm like, fuck, I'm freaking lonely in this. Like no one understands the level of love that I have now and that I would love to share now with everyone. And then I come back home and then the life is what it was when I left, but I'm so changed. So how am I going to share this love with everyone? And then there would come up a loneliness in me. So these are all these limitations we have, and all these feelings of separation with others and with life itself. And so I, what was so beautiful after darkness is that it would be even easier for me to access and transform all the limitations that we all carry with us. So every time I would, for instance, have this like, oh, this loneliness, or oh, now I'm lacking purpose. What should I do now with all of this? I could just sit with that lack of fulfillment in this present moment. That's all the limitations, the lack of fulfillment in this present moment. And then I could just straight away access the source of it. And so in the days following after the dark room, I would still have access to this blue Buddha that I've been talking to in the whole journey of this dark room. This blue Buddha it's just a Buddha that have been with me the whole time and that have shown me my pain and explained things to me and shared different symbols and understandings of why we carry the pain we do. And yeah, in the days following, he would always come back up every time I would reach another limitation in myself. And I would reach the understanding and download it and integrate and embody it and move on with the day. And then next time I felt the limitation, I would again access this high level of consciousness and different spirits that I would be in touch with, that would guide me in different ways and explain things to me. And then I would access the pain in me and cry a lot and feel a lot. And, you know, the emotions as well is also very present after a journey like that. I was crying a lot during the darkness, but also in the days after. Just so much love, so much beauty, and also so much pain. So, yeah, it's definitely been continuing, all the downloads coming afterwards, and it is still today, but already I there's so much more stimuli the I have now, from all the noise around me that I take in. So already now I have a lot less access to that higher level of consciousness and to the spirits, and it takes longer now to access the pain, even though I still access it quite fast, to access the limitations and are able to transform it, than it is in the beginning. And it just again makes me gets me reminded of how much stimuli and distractions we live in. um like, just for instance, our pineal gland, our intuition, is is where we access the highest level of consciousness, the highest level of love, the highest path to abundance and freedom. And, you know, the system has researched what is like the four top things that blocks the pineal gland, the intuition, um, to block it for us so that they can instead control us, so that we don't have access to that higher truth within us. And one of those things, of the top four things that blocks it the most, is Wi-Fi. So just me going on my phone again after the dark room, and being on the computers all the time already started to shut down more of that truth and give me less access. It's a job every day to stay in tune and stay present with it. That's a long answer to your question.
No, it's good. It's downloads. It's you're just speaking from that place and you're just flowing with it, and that's what you got from it, right? You got that flow where you can just express, and all those ideas are just coming uh just perfectly. So um
Mm.
yeah, it's very interesting. I've wanted to try one of these. um they're very expensive in my area, and I haven't decided if I want to spend that much on it. If I can just, I don't know. But yeah, I've heard stories also of how, I don't know if it was the Druids or some uh, culture, who they would send their people into a cave or something for 3 4 days, whatever, and then they would come out and having like all of a sudden are immediately like a savant at some random skill or something. So there's like definitely that something that you get from that, which is very powerful. So I've been wanting to do that, to try that as well. Um,
Mm.
very interesting.
It is also, I have to say, like, two things to that. One of the things, I have this incredible couple that I went to in Norway. They have this beautiful farm. It's a couple. They're Øystein and Tone is their names. Very, very precious couple, and they have this dark room. They do it on donations. So you can basically go in and you can choose on how long you will stay, between 5 to 7 days or longer. And then it's donation based, so you choose yourself what to pay, just like Vipassana retreats, when you go in and do meditation for 10 days. So, I mean, I could definitely recommend them. We can put it in the show notes as well.
Okay.
And And yeah, and there, I mean, it's also in the dark room. Like, it requires a lot of. It's not just the dark room, because even if there's a bit of a light coming in, it's gonna take down. Your brain is already gonna have some stimuli, so even a tiny bit of light is gonna take down the experience. So that's why it's also like needs to be pitch dark, and you have a bell. So you ring on the bell, and then if you need any extra support or a hand to hold on. Or even if you need them to come inside the room to be there with you, you can do that as well. For some people, I mean, darkness is for most people very scary, right? And it would be for me as well a few years ago. Then I would definitely call on that bell. So because it is all the unknown. Everything that we are most scared of is what we're going to meet in the dark. And it's a full surrendering process, because you cannot fight it. That's when you start looping, and that's when it becomes scary and panicking and anxiety and all of these things. You have to surrender every time it comes up. And the second thing I would love to share with what you were just saying, like how people come out and they might have different new gifts coming out of that journey. I mean, I've definitely had a lot of new openings and a lot of new gifts, as you call it, that has been coming afterwards, and a lot of new embodiment practices, and a lot of deep clarity on the way moving forward. My energy as well. Like, I had a lot of physical health problems that came after an accident in Bali last year, and it's been limiting me a lot, like deep fatigue and different things that I've had, like in very strong intense pain in my back and all these different things. I healed everything in the dark 1 week, and everything was gone, and I was just accessing the root cause of that. But what is also important is that if you come to a dark, is to actually ask yourself why you want to go into a dark room. Because if it is to, for instance, to be special, or to have some sort of special gifts, or if the why is from an ego, um, you're definitely going to face up with that. And the first days are just going to be your why. If there's any type of ego, like if it's, oh, I'm going to go into this because then I'm going to be so special, or have something special to offer that other people don't have, for instance, you are then going to get faced up with that until you come to a place where you understand what your why really is. So the first days will, for most people, be, well, why are you actually here? If it's ego driven, and you come to a place of understanding why you are actually here, that has everything to do with you meeting yourself, meeting God in deeper ways, and something beyond your ego and wanting to be special. And yeah.
I think your experiences of all those things being healed uh, kind of speaks to. There's this quote. I think his name was Heraclitus, a Greek philosopher, and he said it's a very simple two-word quote. It's silence, comma, healing, and so I think you kind of lived. Sounds like you maybe lived through that a little bit.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it's interesting because this goes for everything in life. When our why is driven by ego, it's with everything. It's just going to give us more of that ego. It's going to feed more of what we don't want to other people to see. So, for instance, something I've had after the accident in Bali last year has been electroshocks. So every night after this accident, I tend to have, in the nighttime and in deep meditations, I would get like electroshocks in my head, like someone is is actually taking these electroshocks in your head and just like this. This is before the dark room. This has been a continuous process this year. And I've always had the feeling that, first of all, that it's a reaction to PTSD, to a post-traumatic stress, basically a very traumatic experience, because it was very traumatic for me, that accident in Bali. And a response to that is how the brain then goes into the shocks, right? And another truth that I've been feeling a lot is that this is aliens that is actually doing human science. And then in that accident and in the traumatic stress that I got, I kind of got access to that scientific world that they are in, and that they do this with me. And so when I came into the dark room, I was also curious. This was also one of my intentions. I wanted to figure out, why is this happening? And at this point, by the time I was in the healing room, now in the dark room, I'd already been healing a lot of this electroshocks pain. So we'd already been stopping for 3 months. I've been doing some trauma work that made it stop completely. And they showed me. So in the dark room, I was like, okay, aliens or whatever, let's show me why this electroshocks has been coming to me this year. And then it was an alien that came to me in the dark room. And he asked me to follow him, and I trusted him, and I was like, okay, let's go. And he took me to one of these planets where aliens are doing science on humans, on this in this human planet we are on here, and just are investigating us. They're very curious, like figuring us out, right? And figuring also out why we are in so much pain, like why we are in so much fear, and are doing some of this science is to actually try to reprogram us, like rewire our brain to come into a higher level of consciousness, to actually rewire the trauma and change it into a higher vibration in a way. But it's not pure unconditional love. It's also coming from the fact that they want information, so it can be a bit out of control as well. So I was actually shown the lab. I know this sounds crazy. So whatever you believe in, you just take your word for that. But I was then shown this lab that they're in, these aliens, and I was shown all these human bodies and how they're all laying with electroshocks, just as I was feeling, like we humans did back in the days as well, with those that got psychosis and things like that. So laying with the electroshocks in their brain, lots of human bodies. And then we went over to my human body. So it's just kind of like a copy, like uh, it's me in just another dimension, basically. Um, so, and I said, why am I here? I don't want to be here. I don't want you to do science on me. And they said, well, we cannot do science on you unless you want to. And I'm like, well, I don't want to. And then they were like, yeah, but you want to. You've chosen this. And I'm like, how am I choosing this? And then they said, because you want to be special, because you want to have something special that other people don't. So everyone that is here are those that want to be something special that other people are not. And I'm like, ah. And I was like, that's that wound that we have, that we want to be more superior than someone else. And
Mm,
that's when I realized again that if I'm going to do something to be more special, I'm only going to create more pain for myself. But the moment I take full responsibility and meet that pain in myself that needs to be special, to be seen and loved, and then I don't have to deal with these electroshocks being that they do science on me, right? And so and they said, yeah, of course, you if you don't want to be special anymore, you just heal this. And then I got this whole download and I started healing this, and cut the cords completely with this scientific project that they're doing. So I'm no longer part of that. Um, and as I was healing this wound of needing to be special, it also gave me this huge download on why people are pushing their boundaries also in spirituality. Like they're trying to get more information or to reach new states and to take that plant medicine or to rush into this growth journey just to be somewhere else because here and now is not enough.
I
And
think I would be scared to go on one of these retreats or going crazy or something like that. Because I don't want to say my mental is fragile, but I know how powerful that would be. So I think that would be a fear for me.
mm, interesting. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. And then at the same time, because I definitely didn't, for me, it was very scary to feel these electroshocks, right? But it was my wound of being special. So even though I didn't want to go into this, my wound of needing to be some superior in some ways made me manifest this, whether I wanted it or not, because actually a part of me wanted to. So this is how I've understood also why mental illnesses like schizophrenia, psychosis, these kind of things can also happen out of many wounds, but one of the wounds also in this need to be special. So when this Kundalini awakening, they get access to this, it's kind of like, okay, you're diving into more than what you're ready to go into,
Yeah,
right? So,
I can imagine like if I went on one of these retreats, like there's layers to it. Like what if you went on it and then like what if I also didn't eat? Like I could probably make a lot of like at all. I could probably make like a lot of progress, but you know, it's also dangerous that there's this kind of philosophy that when you're making spiritual progress, you don't want to do it like all at once or too fast. So you need some sort of moderation. I think that's also why on Vipassana retreats, they don't recommend that they don't normally allow you to fast because it's so intense, and a lot of people get psychosis um, on these meditation retreats. But of course, when you're in these dark thing, you're going to see many things, and it's like, okay, is it hallucination or is it real? And like the line kind of becomes thin because your consciousness is raising, and we don't even yeah. So I'm not trying to say that your experiences are crazy or to invalidate your experiences. That's not why I was bringing it up. Just to speak to just my own thoughts about trying to go into one of those or whatnot.
mm, yeah, it's um, and the interesting part is, what we resist persists. So what we are scared of is what we're gonna see, and this is the beauty of darkness as medicine. Because if you're scared of psychosis or of losing control, or this is what you're gonna meet in yourself, this fear, and see what is actually there. Um, and that is like the beautiful gift of it. Something that became like my mantra in the darkness was that when it became intense, I would just like, oh, darkness is my medicine, darkness is my medicine, darkness is my medicine. So I would just kind of expand it instead of trying to resist it. So every time I tried to fight against something that I would see or feel that I didn't like or that I thought was scary, I was just like, darkness is my medicine, and I let it expand, and then it would show me straight away the core of it. There was nothing scary with it. I wasn't scared one single time. It was very beautiful. And I also learned a lot about boundaries, also in the spiritual realms. So what you're talking about here, like diving too deep, and then you access all these dimensions, and what is going to happen then if you are in all these dimensions, and
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but also it's interesting, like, what is the boundary between even psychosis and enlightenment? Because, like, I mean, we're already all on some spinning ball in space, and we have no idea why we're here, what's going on. So like on a larger scale, it's like um, the universe is already kind of insane. It's already kind of crazy. So I know also lots of enlightened teachers. I mean, yeah, I don't really know what I'm trying to get to, but uh,
No,
yeah.
yeah, I get what you're saying. So basically, actually, in the preparation before the darkness retreat, that also came to me. I was listening to a podcast with Aubrey Marcus, and he said that when he was in the darkness for a week as well, his dad came to him, and in a higher dimension, and he's lost his dad to mental illnesses. Again, now I'm just sharing because he shared this on his own podcast, so I'm just resharing that. And he said that when he was in the dark room, he could see his dad, and his dad was in front of him, and he was looking towards one side, and on that side it was like, I am God, I am Jesus, I am the king, I'm saving the world, and I'm this, this big special being that is special, more special than anyone else, right? And then he Aubrey was then sharing like how he said that he were never able to turn the other way around, where the dark is, which is his ego, his pain, and surrender into that pain. And that's why he needed to create another identity and stay in that loop and never wanted to come back down, because it's too much to accept um, the reality for what it is, the ego, the pain for what it is. And then he was like, but you, my son, are doing that, and that's why you are somewhere else, or something like this is what he said. And for me, this is what I see in psychosis as well. I've studied this very deeply, and that is actually basically just the lack of wanting to like fully surrender into your own ego, your own pain, accept reality for what it is. So instead, you need to create another world to and another identity, to not to surrender into what you're scared of and what you fear. And in the darkness as well is what you meet, like when you see a demon or a snake coming towards you, you can either fight it, but when you fight it, it's just going to be bigger. Or you can be, wow, why are you here? And you can fully accept and fully surrender. But to fully accept and surrender means that you also need to take full accountability for your own pain. Like, be willing to see your own pain and surrender into that until it shows you the gift of it, until you set yourself free. So yeah.
So yeah. Um, um, so you're also doing like retreats now, and so how is like you were saying that you're having lots of downloads. So what do you see for yourself going forward? And I saw on your Instagram that you're having these retreats. What do these retreats look like and stuff?
Mm.
Whatever you want to mention about them.
I mean, my field is emotional healing. It's like what I love the most is all our limitations, everything we're so scared of. Again, darkness, the what we want to avoid. And what that is the limitations in life is all the drama, all the patterns that is playing out in our lives. It's the relationship we have to friends, drama playing out there in our relationship to our partner, intimacy, that connection to yourself, to life, to God, to source, to nature, work, money, purpose. All of these physical things around us a manifestation of our perception of reality. And that's why, again, like dark room is so powerful, because you meet your own perception of reality and you start to see all your limitations. And basically, what's so beautiful about that is that the moment you are able to access straight away, when there's a pattern, when there's a limitations playing out in your life, you wake up and you don't feel fulfillment, or you're like, I need to move forward with something, or you go out in nature but you don't feel connected to nature, you don't feel connected to source, to love, to joy, to that juiciness of yourself and of life and of God, so then you can access straight away what the limitation is, and move through that and transform that into the gift, which is bliss. It is speaking your truth. It is opening up your body and feeling life on deeper ways. So and for that, we need to learn to really feel when there's a trigger, when we are reactive, when something is coming up in our life, and be able to be so present that we can actually access it straight away and receive it in as this gift, instead of becoming that victim of it. And the gift of it is very often like rage and sadness and anger and shame, and there's all these feelings that comes with it. But when we're able to express that and move through that and dance through that, that's when we access love and new downloads and clarity and new portals opening up in our lives, abundance that also manifests into physical form, and love and intimacy, and so this is what the retreats are about. It's emotional healing, embodiment of becoming the truth of who you are, like really liberating yourself into that. So it's a beautiful process. We have like deep sharing circles, moving emotions, letting yourself be seen and so deeply loved and accepted for anything that is moving through you. Also the things that you don't like for instance, maybe you're screaming at your children. If we can give that space with so much love and acceptance, we can see what is actually behind screaming at your children, and then we access the pain and can release it and access a higher dimension that brings you a deeper depth as a mother or a father to your children. So that's what the retreats are about, and the next one is in Greece, and yeah.
Beautiful.
Mm.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's a beautiful place also to host a retreat. Yeah. Also, I have a friend. His name is Swami Turbo Bhagwand Anand. I think he's also Swedish. But I feel called maybe to introduce you guys, or give you his contact. I think you said you're
Mm.
in Sweden, right?
Norway,
Oh,
yeah.
Norway. Okay, he's
Mm.
from Sweden. The accents throw me off a little bit sometimes. Um, but yeah, I feel like you guys would resonate. Um, and we're also we're building like an online spiritual community, sort of. And so I feel like if you're interested, I'll also I don't know how much you have going on, but I'll also extend some invites to your whatever.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, very interesting. Um,
Mm.
what do you usually make those retreats like formal? Like, I mean, is there like a schedule kind of? Is it like do you have certain activities like that you do, or is it different every time, every retreat, or how does that work?
Um, so the people that is coming, they are the ones that is creating the retreats, and so it's always it's never a coincidence who's coming on each journey. There's always, you have a big calling. If you're going to join on the retreat, you will feel the calling to go. And so that's always interesting as well, because that's going to kind of unfold the whole retreat as well and what we move through. And you'll see that everyone has so much in common with each other. And so um, like all the embodiment practices and what we move through is something we flow with inside of the retreats. And what is most important is that everything has space to come up. Um, Even if you sit in a group and you feel scared that you will not come along with the other woman that is there, or you feel some sort of separation in that, you'll share that, and you become free from that limitation and that separation you feel from other people of not fitting in. And so that's the most important part. But we have I mean, in the mornings we always do meditations and yoga, and also learning to, because in the mornings it usually, since there's so much emotions coming up during the day, it's usually an emotional transformational process happening in the morning because we're so sensitive then. So we tend to also, as one of the things during the morning before breakfast, that we sit, and you're able to learn how to access those emotions, those that I'm not feeling 100%, and actually give it space and then let it move through you and release it so that something new can come in, love and bliss. And so, and that makes you learn to like hold emotions when you come home as well, and not needing it to be dependent on me or someone else to access that transformation. And so, and then we have like silence, in like breakfast silence, where we sit in silence, and we don't speak, but we express emotions. So all of a sudden everyone starts laughing, or someone might be crying, and you're feeling into your body as well, and you can feel also the limitations you have around food and your body, and self-love, like all the shame that we carry. Overeating is something that is deeply being healed in the process during the meals. We really invite in a healing journey also around food and addictions. And so yeah, so that's the meals. And you're also expressing, so you like you can feel the food, like the only thing you're not doing is talking, but everything else is there and is moving through the whole energy and the groups, which is very special and precious. And you get to connect to yourself and to food and to nature in new ways that is just love and bliss. And then we always have some emotional healing practices. We sit in circles around the fire, sharing, moving through emotions, doing breath work, do naked swims in the oceans, and have also circles with this, with your everything you want to hide in your body. Obviously not naked if you don't feel comfortable with it, but actually like
And
um,
obviously, woman only also. Right?
right now, yeah, I'm not sure the next
That'd
one. I
be
think it's going to
interesting
open up.
if you did both genders naked in the ocean. But
Yeah, definitely.
maybe
And
you could
to
try it though.
whatever. Sorry?
Maybe you could try it though. Maybe.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, that's why I'm saying like, yeah, this one is woman, but for next one, I might bring in men as well. Yeah, it's a very precious journey. And also like, it's not to be naked, but it's and you do what is your own boundaries in this, but it's about actually like feeling and accessing your body on such a deep level that even the shame can transform into love, into freedom, and everything you're holding on to. Like something that is very normal for us women is, for example, that we're hugging someone and we don't want them to actually feel our boobs, our breasts. So what we do, we're hugging them, but we're actually blocking so much of our energy in our chest and our breasts, and then that blocks the connection to love and to nourishment. And when that opens up and we can actually receive love and feel love in a deeper way to ourselves, it starts to heal things here as well, and our breasts. And so that's just one example, but that's a beautiful journey of these circles we have with nakedness, and swimming in the ocean, and what comes up in these moments. Yeah, and then we always also end the evenings with again sharing this around the fire, singing, We have some very special meals and just connect very deeply to each other. And then it usually is some sort of like sound vibrations and yoga nidra and deep meditation state that take you into that deep state of sleep, basically, so that you can go to sleep and sleep good and really integrate what has happened throughout the day. So yeah, it's a deep journey of, right now it's like a deep journey of sisterhood as well. Like we come so close. It's just so much love. Yeah, it's very, very precious. Mm.
So what brought you, like, what kind of inspired you to create these retreats, or maybe even like start on the spiritual path? Like you know, what has your journey
Mm.
been like?
Mm. Hmm. I mean, it's I started struggling with my health um and also with mental health when I was around 18 years old, and then I really had a crash. And yeah, a lot of struggles with my health, with mental imbalances, with fatigue, with yeah, I was in a very I had to stop everything I did. Like I was studying for nursing and had to move back home and was in bed and having anxiety attacks every day. And so that took me into a path of first nutrition therapy. I studied that for 3 years. And then that kind of took me into healing path of healing all my physical um, imbalances in my body with food. And then I started to realize, like, holy shit, there's so much more. Like all these trauma that we carry with us, all these memories we carry with us that has such low vibration of shame, of sadness, of anger, of regrets, of rejection, of fear of being seen. Like there's so much there. And when I started to access that and realize that there's a lot going on within me, then I started my journey into therapy and emotional healing and coaching. And for me, it's always been like walking the path that I want to see in this world. And I'm just very deeply devoted to anything that I judge in this world, anything that I feel separation from, anything that even drains my energy. That is a reflection on a shadow in myself, a fear in myself that I'm avoiding, that um, that I can take full accountability for, fully surrender into, fully accept to see what is there. And in that, I become again in union with what I once was separated from, or felt separation from, or judgment for before. And that means that when I'm in union with that, it means that I can also hold space for other people that carry this same wound that I once carried. This, yeah. So this is why I do what I do. It's just I want to see this world move into more love and bliss and abundance and connection to us, to God, to what we are here for. So and yeah, and that's me walking the path first, and face all my separations and judgments. Um, and that's the space I can hold for others, nothing more, nothing less than what I met in myself. Mm.
Hmm. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. It seems like we're all, that's some of that is similar for me as well. Trying to, know, there's this IM guy who used to participate in. You maybe remember Shiva from Bali.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
there was this guy in his community who he would say everybody was just kind of out there, and I was trying to figure out what the difference was between like them and me, and so he was trying to find this unity between people. And so it seems like that's what we're all trying to do as seekers uh, in our own unique way, trying to find that. You called it. You think you said union. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um,
Union and oneness and yeah.
do you think that you're going to keep doing these retreats? Do you have forecasts for even like beyond in the future, or is that just kind of left open? Or and
Mm.
also, what is your life like right now? So you said you're in Norway. What is Norway like?
Okay. So a few things. Just also when you were talking, when you said that thing about how Shiva was always trying to find this union in between people and um
Not Shiva. It was someone in his community.
aha, yeah, someone, yeah, got it. Yeah. Okay, but what's so interesting about this is that every, and this is something that I got to integrate deeper in the dark room as well, is that every memory we carry that has that we feel embarrassed over or shame for, or we feel guilty, or we feel mean or a bad person in the memory we carry in different situations and drama that have played out in our lives, or memories we carry where we feel unsafe, scared. Um, but also like where we feel embarrassed, like moments where we like, oh, we think about it, it's like, ah, it's awkward that they've seen me like that, for instance. So all these memories that has a lower vibration than unconditional love and bliss and freedom, when we get to understand that in those moments, we were as whole, as loved, as holy, as beautiful, um, and as worthy as any other moments in our lives. That's when we truly start to heal on a deeper level. And those memories that we now continue to create and manifest into our lives in different scenarios where we're playing out some sort of drama, we're looping in the same dynamics again and again, that can now go and a new portal can open up for a life and a purpose and a path in a higher vibration. So this is so fascinating because this thing about finding union, if you didn't find union in a community or in a situation or in an experience with other people, and maybe you felt judged by someone or thrown out of some sort of groups, or when we can actually go back to that memory and say to that part of ourselves, like, wow, you are as whole, as beautiful, as holy, as loved, as worthy as any other moments, um, that's when we access God there as well. Because what actually happens when we've experienced some sort of rejection or separation in in our life and in experiences, that's when we actually separate from ourselves and we lose access to God. We lose access to the present moment, and it takes us actually back to the present moments. The looping of the drama is not being in the present moment, it's abandoning of ourselves. So yeah, I just wanted just to comment on what you were sharing. It just came to me when you were
Yeah,
saying that thing. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
But but yeah, what is it like in Norway? Or I don't know if there's much to say on that. Or maybe yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm running out of topics to discuss, but so
Yeah. Yeah, no. And what's the path forward here in Norway? Yeah, I love it here in Norway. I'm just here for the summer, and I'm going again now in to Spain and Greece. And but but yeah, so not so much to say about that. Um, other than the fact that,
what's
and
the
this
weather
is,
like? No, I'm just kidding.
but it is interesting because I've grown up in Norway, and something that tends to happen when we go into spirituality is that we escape what we were grown up in, the community, the house, the place, the family, the country that we grew up in. That was actually the reborn, the start of this life journey. Because this is also where we carry most of our pain. Usually, most of our traumas, most of our fears is connected to where it all started in childhood. And so for me, it's always a very deep healing path to come back to Norway and face everything that I again try to escape, that is draining my energy, that I judge, that I feel limited with, that especially my boundaries get very like, I feel like my boundaries, that I don't really have my space here. And so, and that's limitations that is inside of myself. And um, if we can't find freedom where everything started, a part of us will never really be free
Mm.
and, until we find it there. So that's the
That's gonna
message
be
for
on
Norway.
the. It's gonna be on the thumbnail.
Aha, I love that. Yeah. Um, yeah. And the path forward is, yeah, retreats. I do one-on-one therapy sessions. I love diving deep with people and just, and the therapy is basically you bring up anything that is happening in your life and all the limitations you carry, and then we move through them, and go through that transformation journey of healing, and learning to hold yourself through those and take full accountability and move through that transformation and access bliss and love and freedom and clarity on and a new path forward. So yeah, and then I have some online courses. It's coming up a new course now on emotional healing. So yeah, and then I flow with life. I flow with life, just whatever comes, and that feels aligned. And I definitely also feel called to work to do volunteer work in prisons now and work with abusers that have abused children. Um, and yeah, it's something that I'm opening up to now, and I want to explore that more and see what how someone can heal such a big pain when you've come to the place of even harming other people, and even on the worst kind, which is children. So yeah.
That's probably even a layer deeper to be able to find union with that.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, beautiful. Thank you so much for coming on.
Mm. Well,
So,
thank you for having me, Adi, and um, yeah, I'm always enjoy spending time with you and sharing
yeah.
life. Mm.
Well, we're building a community, so if you're um, if you're available enough, then I'm sure maybe you'll want to stop by sometime. So sometimes.
Mm. Love that. Mm.
Okay.
Well,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much, Celine. All right.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Mm.